What's up, y'all? This is FSGM. The Seahawks are about to pick, or they have 40 and 41, so we'll see what they do. The Bears are about to pick, but just a real quick recap of the second round so far. It kind of went status quo, luckily for the Seahawks so far. But there were a couple DBs, a DB from Auburn, a safety from Baylor, I believe it was, and then the edge rusher from Penn State just went. And let's see. Oh, how about that? Getting back to my roots, Kyler Gordon from Washington, the cornerback, was just picked. So that's interesting. I'll stay here for obviously the Seahawks pick. I'm really interested to see that. Obviously, see what they do. But that's really interesting that there's another DB there. So really, like I said, it kind of went status quo, for the second round, which lucked out for the Seahawks. And then there was the edge rusher from Penn State that went, and then the corner from Auburn, and then the safety from Baylor. There was reports out from Josina Anderson and Brady Henderson from ESPN, but he works locally in Seattle. That the Seahawks were looking to trade up. So either they couldn't get it done, either they couldn't get something done, or their guy is still on the board. So we'll see what they do at 40. My gut says if they're going to trade out, they'll trade the 41, and then they'll keep the 40. But we'll see, right? They're back to back. But it's just interesting that those were the reports, but they couldn't get something done. So we'll see. So just kind of bear with me. We're waiting. I'm just waiting for them to switch over. But Kyler from Washington, the corner, is looking at or is hugging Roger Goodell. I always get a good chuckle out of that, but that's always fun for the players. Yeah. So like I said, for the Seahawks draftings, right? So day one, they got their left tackle of the future, which was solid, as I said. We're looking at D-line, corner. So those are really the big two, right? I said the three. The big three for me was O-line, D-line, and cornerback. And it's interesting that Kyler Gordon just went. So we'll see. I would love to know what the Seahawks thought about Kyler Gordon and the DB from Auburn. But I would think that if they really wanted somebody, right, they would move up, because if there's a team that has enough ammunition to do so, it's the Seahawks. So my gut says that we always talk about the grouping, right, as I discussed the grouping. I'm on my phone, but I was going to do this. But anyways, there's a drop-off. That's what John Schneider always says. There's a drop-off with where they lump players together. And so it would be interesting to see if there is still a group of players that are still within that realm of what they're looking for. Yeah. So if I had to guess right now, they haven't on NFL Network. They haven't done their best available. But like I said, if my gut tells me they'll go for an edge rusher right here. That'll be my guess. I'm just waiting for the Seahawks to go, or for the Bears to be taken off the clock, and for the Seahawks to be on the clock. But good for Kyler Gordon. Obviously, he's from Washington, so good for him. Oh, the pick is in. So here we go. Oh. So the pick is in, like I said. So my gut says they'll take somebody here. We'll see what they do. Or like I said, it could be a quarterback project, right? It could be the kid from Liberty, but I'd have to think it would be an edge rusher. Let's see. So they got Willis, Corral. Oh, that's all the best quarterbacks taken. But like I said, the pick is in for 40. So if John Schneider depending on the grouping of players, like I said. He'll probably, if he trades 41, that means that after this pick there's a drop off of his grouping of players for this round. So we'll see what they do. But the fact that, like I said, my gut said that they would take somebody at 40, and they may drop back at 41. But this should be pretty fast. We'll see.
Two in a row, the commissioner's going to make these.
All right, here we go.
The Seattle Seahawks.
With the 40th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Boye Mafe, linebacker,
Okay.
Minnesota.
Right. So they just took their edge rusher, Boye Mafe from Minnesota.
Mafe family.
Okay. So that.
I guess Seattle Mafe.
Yeah. So let's see what the report says, and I'll give my reaction. And then obviously they're at 41, so we'll see. But just give me a second. Let's see what they say.
Down there, guys, in that game where that Jets coaching staff really cut him loose, just widen him out, let him rush the quarterback. He's got some serious shock in his hands. When he hits you, you feel it. My comparison was Kwity Paye. I thought both guys maybe a little raw coming out of college, but you know they're going to have a chance to be outstanding pros. Here he is working off the edge. You're going to see a lot of this from a two-point stance. There's those violent hands. He's outstanding. He can kind of push you, pull you, and get off blocks. Also has a nasty club move that he'll use as well. Again, this is something you saw him get better with throughout the year, becoming more comfortable as a pass rusher. You can kick him inside as well. We've seen that with a few of these edge rushers. Let him work on guards, and then he plays extremely hard. Here's an example of his effort, the motor to run and chase. Interesting, guys, to see the Seattle Seahawks really address the trenches so far. We do with a tackle in the first round. Here you go get an edge rusher.
Well, let's face it, Pete Carroll hasn't been thrilled with his defense, which has devolved over the years, and that's his calling card. Joel, you said
Oh wow, they went back to back. I know the volume's a little high right now, but I am surprised here. They went back to back. Wow, I'll be honest. I didn't. Excuse me. I didn't anticipate them going back to back. I'll be completely honest. I thought that my guys Pete Carroll and John Snyder, they would trade out of 41. Now, so I'm a little surprised, but that tells me again that they have some people on their boards that are within their grouping, and they want to take advantage.
In the 2022 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Kenneth Walker, running back, Michigan State.
Oh, this guy, they are going to love him in Seattle. They're going to saddle him up and just hit people with him.
Hey, guys, I got to take this one. Or Gus Johnson would kill me if I didn't take this one because we wanted to put him in New York. We didn't quite get him there for what he did against Michigan. He has got some acceleration now. He's got good balance. He transferred to Michigan State and was absolutely sensational there for Mel Tucker. I was always shocked at his home run speed. Once he would find that seam, he was gone. He did it in the very first game, very first quarter, very first carry of his career at Michigan State against Northwestern in their first game. Walker is a heck of a player.
I guess Charles Cross is going to have to run protect too, right? Run block and pass protect.
Oh, yeah, he's going to have to jump
Because
that.
Kenneth Walker is coming with him and DK. They are going to hit some people in Seattle. Okay, we are back.
Okay, so just a quick recap, and I'll, now that it's been decided. So the first three picks. So obviously the first round they got their new franchise left tackle. I'm still hopeful. I know some people are saying that it's over for Dwayne Brown and the Seahawks. I hope not. I hope that they can bring Dwayne Brown back and they can put I'm drawing a blank on the tackle's name. I think it's Charles from Mississippi State at right tackle for a year. And people are saying that would stunt his growth, but I could care less. It's all about putting the best team on the field for me. So I'm hopeful that again the Seahawks can bring Dwayne Brown back. As I mentioned yesterday, that would be a nice 1-2 punch. And then so they got their edge rusher at 40, right? So that's what we talked about it in my draft preview. Every year, every time, it doesn't, like I said, every year it's always about the O-lines and D-lines. And so they got their edge rusher. And the fact that to backtrack about the reports from Brady Henderson and Josina Anderson, the fact that they didn't trade up told me that the 2 or 3 guys on their board were still there. That there was a previous edge rusher taken before our guy from Minnesota, but the Seahawks obviously must have grouped those players together where it wasn't worth to trade up. So again, they got their tackle, they got their edge rusher, and then the fact that they went for a running back in the second round, and honestly, if I'm being honest, that tells me the fact that the Seahawks went for a running back at 41. That tells me the reports might have been the Seahawks might have wanted to trade up for Bryce Hall. That would be my gut. My gut reaction is that could because again, to be repetitive, there was reports that they wanted to trade up, and the fact that the Jets got Bryce Hall, that tells me again that the Seahawks may have wanted to trade up for him, but they got Kenneth Walker from Michigan State, the running back, and so that's a surprise. Not a surprise. But the fact that they got the running back in the second round tells me that they're a little concerned about Chris Carson. And I did bring this up in my draft preview. They got Rashad Penny, and now they'll have Kenneth Walker from Michigan State. And so my gut tells me that they're really concerned about Chris Carson. And to be honest with you, I would be too, because he's proven he can't stay on the field. So anyways, to recap, the Seahawks in their first 2 picks, they went O-line, D-line. You can never go wrong in that direction, especially for this team right now. And then they took a running back with their second pick in the second round, which tells me again that Chris Carson's days probably as a Seahawk are numbered. So it's been an interesting run. Because of the Seahawks' ammunition next year, they have plenty of. I think they have 2 1s and 2 2s. Don't be surprised again if the Seahawks, if they see somebody on their draft board, if they trade back into the second round or in the third round. So I will definitely be keeping an eye on this. I like what they're doing so far with the two picks of the O-line, D-line. Yeah, with the O-line and D-line, and then this again, the wild card for me, honestly. Even though I said they could be interested in a running back, the fact that they took him in the second round was kind of a wild card for me. But I completely understand why. And again, the fact that the reports where they were looking to trade up, that tells me that they were looking to trade for Bryce Hall, trade with the Jets or whoever to get Bryce Hall. But after that, Kenneth Walker was still there. So good for them. So this has been FSGM's reaction to the Seahawks 2 picks in the second round. They took the edge rusher from Minnesota and a running back from Michigan State. I'll be talking to you guys soon.